to the Haverhill Journal Live for Monday, August 3rd, 2020. I'm Lindsay Paris, here with you tonight from the HC Media Studio. We're now bringing you the Haverhill Journal Live Monday nights at 7 p.m., live streaming on Channel 22 in Haverhill, at haverhillcommunitytv.org, and on the HC Media Facebook page, and replaying at 5:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. every weekday night on Channel 22. Tonight, it's Haverhill's Best Time, the annual survey where Haverhill Gazette readers choose their favorite small businesses, restaurants, community workers, and more is happening right now. And Dave Schultz of the Haverhill Gazette is here to tell us all about it. Also, the Journal visited the Haverhill Farmers Market in July to bring you a special segment on how the market is adapting to COVID-19, which we'll see a little later on. But first, every week, Mayor Jim Fiorentini is joining us to give us the latest update on what's happening in the city of Haverhill. Mayor Fiorentini, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you so much. Well, with COVID-19, we're still doing pretty well. We've had 2 cases in 4 days, no new cases today, 2 yesterday, 0 cases the day before or the day before that. So we've really flattened the curve. Things are going well. We only have 8 active cases now in the entire city. We follow things that happen statewide, nationally. We're very well aware of what's happening in other cities, and we'll watch this closely. But right now, things are going well.
That is really excellent news, awesome news to hear. I'm sorry, go on, continue.
Well, I want to urge everybody here, whether you are symptomatic or asymptomatic, to get tested. You can get tested at AFC in Methuen. They're on Route 110 in Methuen, only a few minutes from the Haverhill line. You can get tested there at Pentucket Medical or at the Lawrence General Hospital or at the Holy Family Hospital. And Lawrence or in Methuen, they have the 15-minute rapid test. You don't need any symptoms. It's completely free, no copay, no deductible until August 14th. It's called the Stop the Spread program by the state. We want as many people tested as possible. If anybody is asymptomatic and has the virus, we want to know about it, and so do you, so you don't infect somebody else. So please consider getting tested. Remember, 2 places where it's completely free and 15 minutes, Lawrence General Hospital and AFC Methuen. Other places, including, I forgot, CVS and Lafayette Square. You do need insurance at those other places, but if you have insurance, it's still free to you. Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you so much, Mayor Fiorentini. Great information on how to get tested and for free as well. As always, stay up to date with the mayor by reading his update posts at the Haverhill News page on Facebook.
Lindsay, every time I'm on your show, I'm reminded of being a kid and delivering the Haverhill Journal, a paper that has long since been forgotten. You brought it back. And I bet 90% of the people listening to the show don't even know there was a newspaper in Haverhill called the Haverhill Journal. Am I right?
That is correct. It was a short-lived newspaper, but it made a big impression, obviously.
I was a newsboy. I delivered the Gazette, and the Gazette went out on strike. The Haverhill Journal came in. They were done by William Loeb in Manchester, New Hampshire, and they were around for about 3 years. So I switched over to the Journal, and my sister Ann became one of the first, maybe the first girl in Haverhill to be allowed to be a news girl, news boy, they called them in those times. She took over my route. So we remember the Haverhill Journal well.
I love it. You're breaking through the glass ceiling. Good for your cousin. And again, we're going to do a piece on, your sister. I'm sorry. Well, that's awesome.
My awesome sister. Always been my number one supporter throughout the years. So Lindsay, thanks for inviting me on, and good luck to everyone. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Fiorentini. One of these days, we're going to do a piece on the old Haverhill Journal because that's been on my list for a long time.
I don't have a copy of it. I know that there are people that do, and we'll try to track one down.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor.
Bye-bye now.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Businesses across the country have made significant changes this year to prevent the spread of COVID-19, and that rings true at the Haverhill Farmers Market. The Haverhill Journal's Cassie Elson and Will Tapley visited the market on a recent Saturday to see how the market has adapted to keep shoppers safe.
My name is Jeff Grassi, and I'm with the Haverhill Farmers Market. Things have changed a little bit here at the Farmers Market because of the state COVID-19 guidelines. So now we have, massa. We ask people to kind of put in when they come here, put on when they come in. We have a little hand sanitizer stations when they come in. Just give a little squirt there. Live music, kids' activities are a little on hold, but besides all that, it's a little different for us because normally we're a big social event, so we've kind of had to cut down on that.
My name is Christine Catino from Kiss the Cook LLC. We make macaroni and cheese. We make 3 different kinds. This is my first year being here at the Haverhill Farmers Market. So far, so good. It's been good. Everybody's coming out and supporting us, and which that is very much appreciated. So all our businesses stay intact through this crazy time in our lives. So I like the Haverhill Farmers Market. Everybody is so nice, and the area is a great spot.
My name is Gretel. I'm from Costa Rica. I currently live in Amesbury, Massachusetts. My brand is Flor de Café, which means coffee flower. And my business is like a coffee on wheels. This is my first year here. I hear amazing things about Haverhill community, and today's my second day, but I'm really loving it. People is kind, is interested in the product. I'm happy to be part of this community, and this is a different year because of the COVID, but I'm really happy that people is following the rules, wearing masks, so we all can still have the product, but being safe.
My name is Harry. I work for Quinn's Canine Cafe. We sell dog treats. I've only started doing this year. I've been having a lot of fun. People have been super nice. Obviously, it's kind of a weird time right now. It's not like the most ideal experience, I think, but it's definitely, people have been super nice. Everyone's really respectful of the masks and respectful of, the distance. So we have this table here, and none of the products can be touched by anyone other than me until I give them things. We have the table back here, which displays everything. We have a contactless chip reader. We don't have to touch anything.
Everyone has been working really well together. People are already used to social distancing from going to the supermarket, the Home Depots, or wherever. So it has been an extremely smooth transition. I cannot thank our sponsors enough, and our vendors and our volunteers that have really helped me out, because we have to change things up a little bit. So please come to the market. It's still a great experience. We have a lot of vendors and a lot of new products that we want people to check out.
The Haverhill Farmers Market is continuing to run Saturday mornings from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. through October 31st at the Goki parking deck on Merrimack Street. One of Haverhill's most well-known polls, Haverhill's Best, recently wrapped up its voting period, and we're all waiting anxiously to see who was chosen in over 50 categories, including Best Burger, Best Fitness Club, Best Community Worker, and so many more. Here with us tonight in the studio, and this is our first in-studio interview in months, is my sometime occasional Haverhill Journal Live co-host, Dave Schultz of the Haverhill Gazette, to tell us more. Dave, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Lindsay. It's good to be here.
Oh, it's so good to have you back. So give us a brief history of Haverhill's Best. How did it get started?
This is actually the 21st year that the Haverhill Gazette has done this readers poll, which predates, I believe, Ed Wally. It might even go back to somebody like Paul Ryan when he was still there running the Haverhill Gazette. And it's kind of just developed over the years, but it's primarily just a readers poll. The Haverhill Gazette just wanted to send out a poll to the people who read the Gazette and just ask them, what are your favorite restaurants, or who's your favorite contractor, who's your favorite whatever.
Right,
so,
right. Well, you're getting the feedback directly from the people, because you know, they're the people who use these businesses. They're the ones who know who's the best, right? Yeah. And you have so many categories, like we said, over 50 categories you can vote on. So how did you come up with all those categories? How do you choose them?
A lot of the categories have been there probably from the very beginning. I mean, I've been there for 3 years. And And we kind of like, since I've been kind of running it, I kind of tweak it as each year. Sometimes there's categories that just don't get the votes, so we kind of quietly wipe them out. And then we add categories like community worker or volunteer, best local personality. This year we added senior living care, which we never had before. And it received like a ton of votes. So.
Well, things like that, those are things people want to know, where's the best senior care facility? Where do I get the best dry cleaning? Who is the best community worker in the city?
Yeah.
Everybody has an opinion, but a lot of times I find opinions are the same. So there you go. So what's your favorite category, Dave? I gotta ask.
My favorite category is always community worker or volunteer. Only because I think that's the one that has like some significance and you get to see, this year I think there were 45 different people got votes.
Wow.
In that category. Even somebody like Matt Belfiore got votes.
I would vote for Matt Belfiore 100 times. Yes. They were all from me.
But the top three are generally like ones that you look at and go, it's hard to argue with them. And it changes pretty much every year, with actually one exception. Elaine Barker is almost always in the top three. But everybody else, usually the rest of them are change around and it changes. Sarah Blackstone came in first place a couple years ago.
Right.
So, right.
Yep. How could you not choose Elaine or Sarah or Matt? And we have so many amazing people in our community.
It is.
I don't even know how I could choose the best community worker. There's so many.
That's why I like it so much.
Yeah.
And I like the fun ones too, like favorite local personality too. That's always a fun one. That's a new one we added too.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
so,
I know. Former winner.
So how many ballots do you receive on average from people in Haverhill? Do you get them from the newspaper? Do you get them online? How does that work?
The one thing that has really ramped up the number of votes has been the online voting, which I think started technically like 4 or 5 years ago, but we really put a social media emphasis behind it the past few years. This year there were actually over 20,000 votes cast in all the categories. Over 1,800 different businesses and people and places received votes in the city of Haverhill, and there were actually it was just under 1,100 actual different individuals actually cast ballots this year. The biggest one we ever had.
And on the ballots too, it's write-in, I believe, right? So it's not like they're not giving you like multiple choice. It's you write in.
You write in, exactly. You don't have a choice of
Yeah.
A, B, or C. You have a choice. You write in whoever you want.
Right. So this is like, I feel like that gives you the most accurate results, right? Because you're not suggesting anything.
Well, and then you also get some funny votes too, where you have like there's a gentleman, and I don't remember his name, but it was one of the write-in ballots that he wrote in for most scenic place in Haverhill. He put my backyard. So I love those. Those are ones that I like. I like those. Those are silly ones. They never. He's not going to win anything. But,
yeah, definitely. Well, he's a lucky man. He's got a nice scenic backyard.
I guess so.
So that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
And so, of course, the big question is, when do we find out the results about who won?
The results are in the Haverhill Gazette on August 13th. That's so 10 days from today. Not this week's paper, but next week's paper.
Okay.
And so it'll be out there, and it'll be they're boosting the numbers, so make sure everybody can get a copy, and you'll see it around town.
Awesome. Okay, August 13th edition of the Haverhill Gazette.
Yep.
And I understand you might be producing some programming here on HC
I will have
Media.
a couple of videos next week highlighting. I'm not announcing any winners. I'm just kind of like highlighting like the top 3 or the top 5 restaurants for best restaurant in the city of Haverhill and things like that.
Nice.
So,
nice.
And I have some special guests like Andy Vargas and Jerry Schiavone helping me out. So. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So everybody gets a little bit of recognition. I love that.
Yeah.
Dave, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you're here
Me
again.
too. Thanks for having me.
Hopefully we'll see more of Dave here on the Haverhill Journal in the future.
You'll see me around.
Yeah, all right, good, good. Again, check your August 13th edition of the Haverhill Gazette to see a list of all the winners 50 plus, and watch the Haverhill's Best special on HC Media to see them accepting their honors. Dave, in the paper, did they show the top 3 or just the winner?
It's in most of the categories. It's the top 3. This year, for simply because of the sheer number of votes we got, for Haverhill's Best Restaurant, we actually made it a top 5.
Oh wow!
And that's actually something too that I think that people don't take into consideration with this too. I'm sorry, I'm rambling on here.
No, please go ahead.
But I look at there's over 100 restaurants in the city of Haverhill. Over 50 restaurants got votes for best restaurant in the city of Haverhill. So if you're in the top 5, that's actually a pretty significant, even if you didn't come in first, that's a pretty significant recognition.
Oh yeah,
with all the ballots cast and all the categories of business, for you just to be recognized, I think is a huge
That means you're like in the top 3%.
Absolutely.
So that's impressive.
So yeah.
Definitely. Thank you, Dave.
All right.
Awesome. That's our show for tonight, Monday, August 3rd. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. And as always, keep watching HC Media for up-to-date information, PSAs, series programs, and more. I'm Lindsay Paris, and have a great evening, everybody. Good night.